Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Darts TV, and we are here in Blackpool. We're at the venue, the Winter Gardens, for the BetVictor World Matchplay, and I'm joined by Paul Nicholson. Paul, how's it going?
Yeah, really well. It's great to be back. I haven't been here for 4 years, and hopefully this year I'm not going to get fined working in the media, because I used to get fined every time I was a player.
What a venue, it's just iconic, isn't it?
It's wonderful, isn't it? You just look around and there's just so much to be in awe of. You know the great matches that have been held in here, and you just look forward to an incredible tournament and a great future for the game in this venue.
I say we're here early, it's nice and quiet, and won't be in a few hours, but it's just taking it all in is just unbelievable.
No, it's definitely going to change in the next few hours. The temperature in here, I know from experience, is definitely going to go up at a minimum of 20 degrees. You're going to get 2,000 to 3,000 people in here, and usually you find that on opening night, people tend to start a bit slowly, just trying to feel who's playing well, but I love the fact that Adrian Lewis is starting the tournament. I think we're going to start with a bang. You
touched on it there. What a first game we've got. We've got Jackpot against James Wilson. Unbelievable game to start the tournament off.
Yeah, I've just seen James Wilson backstage wearing a hoodie saying "may contain biscuits," which really did make me laugh. But it's a really tough game for James because Lewis is fancied, not just for this game, but he's fancied by people to win this event. And I'm one of the people that think he's going to be super dangerous this week, because I've always said Adrian Lewis, when he's rested and when he's got form behind him, he can do anything he wants.
We were lucky to be backstage in exhibition only 10 days ago, and he was literally on point, looked sensational.
Well, Keith Deller and I had a game of golf a couple of days ago, and I was asking him, just trying to get the inside track about Adrian, and everything that Keith was coming up was super positive, and he just had a glint in his eye, Keith, when he was talking about Adrian. And everybody else feels the buzz around Jackpot right now, and James Wilson's up against it tonight. He's going to have to pull off probably the best performance of his year to take this win tonight.
Definitely, I'd say I think there'll be plenty of 180s, because both men hit them by the bucket load as well.
Yeah, Adrian has never had any doubt about his scoring ability, but for me, the X factor in this game could well be the lie of the dart for James Wilson. He has had problems with bounce outs in the past. If he gets all three darts on point in this game, he can score as many 180s, if not more, than Adrian Lewis. So if he gets his technique right tonight and everything goes his way, he could cause an upset, but I still fancy Jackpot.
Same as I think Jackpot will come out in a very high quality game, I have to say.
Yeah, don't be surprised if we start the tournament with a 100+ average, because look at the experience of Adrian Lewis in this tournament. He's had sky high averages with great games, and I use that word great because he has had some of the best games of his entire life in this venue with Van Gerwen and Taylor, so it'll be interesting to see how he turns up.
Definitely. Second game on really intrigues me. We've got Chizzy against Keegan. Now I have to say, this game anything could happen, because you just don't know. Yeah,
coin flip game for me. I think Keegan, I've seen him the last couple of days, looks buoyant, looks happy. He's been practicing very avidly. He was down at a local dart shop for 5 hours yesterday, meeting fans and practicing away and tweaking things that needed to be tweaked. He looks in good nick. He's been playing some very good stuff this year, Keegan Brown, and almost going under the radar. And with Chisnell, his form's been up and down. He'll be the seeded player, and probably just a marginal favourite with the bookies, but Chisnell has not really had a massive run here yet. Somewhere where it's very close to where he lives. He's only half an hour from here. But it's a coin flip game for me. It could go either way.
I think as well, we haven't seen the best of Chizzy this year. Well, we got into the back end of last year. Didn't look comfortable at all at the World Cup, so we just don't know what he's done away from the board to turn his form around and put it right.
You're absolutely right, Phil, because during the World Cup, Rob Cross almost got him out of jail a few times, and we didn't see enough from Dave in that 3 or 4 day spell to tell us that he's in form. The European tournaments since then, he's played some up and down stuff. But the one thing we know about Dave is that sometimes when he wakes up in the morning, he can just spit 180s in. And if he has one of those really heavy scoring nights, he's going to pose problems for Keegan.
Definitely. I think the start is massively important in this game. I think if it's close at halfway, I personally think Keegan might nick it. But if Chizzy's in front, I think he'll walk away with it. I
think the start is very important, more so in the Keegan camp, because we saw what he did to James Wade at the World Championships. When Keegan gets a lead, he's not frightened to sprint. There are players out there who, when they get a lead, they tend to take their foot off the accelerator and try and coast a little bit. Keegan's not like that. He likes to fly. And Dave, I would probably put on the other side of the coin. I think sometimes when he gets a lead, he sometimes plays a little bit defensively. But if he shows the tiny little bit of nastiness in his game, Dave Chisnell, I really do feel that there's a big possibility here for him this week and for the rest of the season. But this game, I can't call it.
can't call it. For me, the safe bet is Chizzy most 180s or over 5.5.
Yeah, I think when it comes to 180s, you've really got to back Dave Chisholm. You can't not back him. He's arguably the best 180 hitter in the world when he's on form. So I think that's a perfect bet. But as for the winner of the game, I'm staying firmly on the fence.
Brilliant. And then the third game on the evening, we've got Michael van Gerwen against Jeffrey de Swan. Now, MVG plays on opening night, unlike last year, after there was some interesting comments, shall we say, from a certain Scotsman.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I think it's important for Michael to get into this arena as soon as possible after what happened last year. This will not feel 100% comfortable for him when he's walking in. He's world number one. He's without a doubt the best player in the world. But he is human. He's said on many occasions he's not a machine. And coming into an arena where he had an uncomfortable experience the last time he was here, he'll just want to feel his way back into this. But I get the feeling that Michael's had a very good draw here, because ever since Jeffrey de Swan won that tournament on the Pro Tour to break his duck, he hasn't really done anything. He's been very sporadic. He's had some decent showings, but he hasn't showed any of that magical stuff that he did on that day to win on the Pro Tour. So I feel that this is going to be a massive win for MVG. I think he could win this by 7 or 8 legs.
No, agreed. I think 10-2, 10-3. I think de Swan will struggle. But the only thing I will say is MVG to win it overall at 4-6 with the title sponsors BetVictor, I think it's too short to back personally. With his form in the World Series, I think there's better value elsewhere in the odds. Yeah,
I would leave Michael van Gerwen alone when it comes to that particular bet. I think there's other better value there. When you look through certain fixtures and certain 180s and things like that, there's other things that you can get your money on. I particularly like the Kyle Anderson bet against Barneveld. I think that's an absolute ripper. But I would leave van Gerwen alone personally if I was betting on it.
Definitely. Last game of the evening, Michael Smith against Johnny Clayton. Now, I'm really looking forward to this because we've got two players that are in form, playing well.
Yeah, obviously I'm absolutely buoyed for Michael Smith winning in China. You know, you can see in his face when he's smiling, holding that trophy. He hasn't smiled that much in his PDC career. And for him to lift the TV title, admittedly in front of not the largest audience, I think that will do his confidence no harm whatsoever. He's always been playing well over the last 18 months for me. Michael Smith is a very, very dangerous player and makes it look easy. And he's great to watch. But Johnny Clayton is he's a sneaky one, isn't he? He doesn't like the massive limelight, but he's a limelight type player. He can play against anybody in the world. He's had some standout performances in 2018. Could be a classic to finish the night off.
Mind you, that's if Smithy gets in, because we've just seen him do at least 3 laps of Blackpool High Street trying to find the venue.
Yeah, he's got a new chariot, hasn't he? The spoils of victories. So maybe he's getting used to the gearbox and stuff like that and the sat-nav. But we are actually seen him on the balcony just now. So he has made his way here. He's got plenty of time, because we're here early. He's got plenty of time to hone his skills for last game of the evening.
Definitely. We're here. We're in. I can't wait for this year's BetVictor World Matchplay. The best lineup we've ever had. Going to call you now. Who wins it overall?
I was doing a radio interview this morning, and I picked somebody to win it, and it kind of shocked the people who asked me the question. I went for Adrian Lewis. I think he's rested. He's always dangerous when he's rested, and I just get the feeling that maybe Michael is not at 100% on the accelerator. I think that maybe if Michael's gonna come a cropper, I feel it's going to be against Adrian. If Adrian beats James Wilson tonight, that's where my potential big story of the week could be. If Michael can get through Adrian Lewis, I feel he'll win the title. But don't forget about Gary, because there are rumours about what Gary's going to do the next few years. Whether they're true or not is a different matter. But he wants this title so badly. Ticked off the UK Open earlier this year. We know how much he wants to win the Grand Slam, but he hasn't won here, and he's never really had a big week here. It could be Gary's week, but I'm pitching my tent in the MVG Adrian Lewis game. I think the winner will come from that game, because I really do feel that Adrian's going to win it.
I agree. I really like Gary Anderson. I say this is the biggest one that's not on his resume. He's won the Premier League, he's won the Worlds, but only ever got to a semi-final here, and I think that might get put right this week.
Yeah, I'm with Gary Anderson, and I look at, I've known Gary 20 years. The talent that he has and the titles that he already has in his locker. He's got 2 world titles, of course, Premier Leagues, and he always says that the Grand Slam is his favourite tournament. I think secretly that's the one he wants the most. He wants to lift that bulbous trophy above his head and say, you know what, I've got the one I really, really crave. But there will be something in his mind that says, my career will not be solidified as one of the all-time greats without one of these, and time's running out for Gary to get this, and he's in pretty good nick considering he won in Las Vegas, so don't count out Gary Anderson. He could win this.
There's one intriguing one for me that no one's really talking about, which is Wadey at 33-1 with BetVictor. Now, he's scoring heavier than he's ever scored. He's gone away, he's worked hard at his game, we can see that, and he's just gone under the radar, and he's in that nice section of the draw.
James has gone under the radar for 10 years, even probably more than that, which is quite alarming considering the calibre of player that he is. But like I iterated before about Adrian Lewis, he's rested. James has had a very hectic 2018. He's worked really, really hard in his game, and he's had some fruit to bear for that work. Having some rest before this tournament and some decent amount of competitive practice and some good wins under his belt, he could, you know. We've seen a lot of online media this week talking about what he did 10, 11 years ago. Is there any reason why he can't go out there and do it again? Absolutely not.
Agreed. Well, Paul, thanks for joining us here at the Winter Gardens. As I say, I can't wait for the BetVictor match play to start, and we'll check in during the week. Absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil.
Cheers, mate.